Good morning, children. Welcome back. In the previous topic, we discussed about climate of India, and today we are going to connect about a new topic: Indian rivers and water resources. How Indian rivers are playing a vital role, and how these water resources have to make useful in our daily life. How the water bodies we can make the better usage. So all these are the things we are going to discuss in this topic. Now let us know about the first. So the drainage system which originates only with the three important relief features like the Himalayas, Peninsular Plateau, Indo-Gangetic Plains. These all are the evolution or the origin where we are considered to know about the drainage system. There is a lot of difference between drainage, drainage where we get all the wastage like flushing out, drainage in the sense nothing but mixing or merging of all the rivers. So that was the system what we are discussing about the drainage system, in which the three important rivers like the major relief features like Himalayas, Peninsular Plateau, Indo-Gangetic Plain. And here there is this, with origin of these evolution of the relief features with which we are going to be found or seen two types of river system. One is the Himalayan rivers, the other one is called Peninsular River. So here I want to make you the difference between Himalayan rivers and Peninsular rivers. Himalayan rivers are nothing but what we call perennial rivers. Perennial rivers means continuous flow of water. They are immortal, continuously throughout the year where the water is floating. That is what we call Himalayan rivers. And peninsular rivers is nothing but non-perennial. Throughout the year there is no supply of water. That variation is what it makes us clear the difference between Himalayan rivers and as well as peninsular rivers. So in these how this origin and how these are the drainage system which are going to be exist, in what manner these are connected to the Indian rivers, that is what we are going to discuss now. So there in this, the origin of the drainage system, in which the principal systems, there in which we are going to be finding the three important rivers like the Indus, the Ganga, the Brahmaputra. So these are the three important rivers, what we call that as Himalayan rivers. So that was the reason, as I said you just before, perennial rivers, what I said, continuous flow of water. So such type of impact is only seen because of these three river systems like Indus, Ganga, Brahmaputra. So what was the speciality of these rivers means, almost all these rivers are going to be flowed same regions with very few kilometers which are very closer. So such type of impact and importance what we are noticing that we have considered or seen here. So such type of floating can be seen or observed only there in these three river system. And not only that, after that what will be the next step means water will be dividing, and that which was drooping or bending towards the south, and there then we get V-shaped valleys. So with V-shaped valleys, what we are going to be find are get only the two river system like what we call the Himalayas and as well as peninsular rivers, and there and then these systems which are going to be exist. So in this connectivity, now let us discuss about the Himalayan rivers. In what manner these Himalayan rivers are going to be flowed, what are the importance of that, let you know clearly. So the three important rivers like the Indus, the Ganga, the Brahmaputra, these are only the three important river system which is related to Himalayas. The first one, let you know about the one what we call Indus. So about Indus, it is originating or taking birth over there in Kailas range in Tibet. So like the region which is very closer to our India, the region in which what it is taking the birth, Kailas range. So such type of impact is only the one how these are taking birth. This is the Tibet what we call tableland. So there the Indus is taking birth over there in this Kailas range, and a lake is available over here called Manasa Sarovar. So with that the Indus is going to be originate or exist. And here what are the tributaries which we are going to be find or seen from this Indus, like Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Beas and Satluj. So all these are only the one what we call tributaries. Tributaries in the sense, suppose if you take a major river which connecting the minor one. For major, whatever it is connecting the minor, that is what we call tributaries. So for this Indus, all these are the rivers which they are connecting, like what we call as Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Beas, Satluj. And here, especially when it is entering into our country, India, especially the entry which takes place over there, Jammu and Kashmir. After that, which is going to be flowed, and even it enters into Punjab and Himachal Pradesh. So that was the impact of one what we have known or seen about the one what we call river Indus. Coming to the next, the Ganga. The Ganga river is the holy river according to Hindu mythology. What people they think means if they are going to be dip in that, the sins are going to be washed away. And not only that, it is utilized for agriculture and irrigation. And not only that, it is also making to generate hydroelectricity. Such type of impact and importance which we can find over there in this river Ganga system. And here the two glaciers, like Gangotri glacier, this is called at a place Bhagirathi. Gangotri, which you are going to find at a place what we call Bhagirathi, and even the other glacier called Satopang. There to the northwest of Badrinath, this is called as Alakananda. So these two, like Bhagirathi and as well as Badrinath, were called as Alakananda. These two join as one what we call Devaprayag. So that was the impact of one what we call the river Ganga system. And the tributaries are like Soni, Kosi, Ganga's tributaries like Soni, Kosi, Yamuna. So all these are the tributaries which connect to the major one. So especially what you have to be noticed over here means Gangotri glacier where it is called as Bhagirathi, Satopang glacier to the northwest where it is called as Alakananda, to northwest of Badrinath, that is what we call Alakananda, and these two join at a place is called Devaprayag. This is the impact and importance which is related to the one system, what we call that as Ganga system. And the next, the third important Himalayan river, as we are discussing from this principal system of that. So Brahmaputra there which is taking part over there in Tibet, there in that Tibet it is called as Sangpo. Sangpo. And this is especially like a glacier what we called over there in that Simiodang, in which the glacier which is taking part over there, the same Kailash range and near Manasa Sarovar lake, same origin. So that what was the one more impact means all these three rivers are going to find parallel to each other. These three rivers like Indus, Ganga, Brahmaputra, they are parallel to each other. So these are the rivers which they are going to be flowed. And there in this, what was the next what we are finding about there in this Kailash range of Manasa Sarovar lake, in which two tributaries are there called Vihang and Lohit. And not only Sangpo or Brahmaputra, if it is entering over there in Arunachal Pradesh, it is called as Sihang or Vihang. Sihang and Vihang. When it enters over there in Arunachal Pradesh towards the northern state, when the entry is making towards Arunachal Pradesh, then that is called as Sihang and Vihang. Then after that, when it is entering into the Assam Valley when it is entering, then there, this is nothing but the two tributaries where we can find, that is called Vihang and Lohit. There and then when it floats, then that the river name is called as Brahmaputra. So such type of impact and importance are there in this river system. That all what it describes very clearly about the one what we call Himalayan rivers. Okay, after completion of the Indus, now the next what we are discussing about the one called the peninsular rivers. The peninsular rivers. The peninsular rivers are going to be originate maximum from this Western Ghats, as if you see this, and all these are going to be discharged in Bay of Bengal. And few rivulets which are going to be flowed and are also going to be drain or mix over there in Arabian Sea. So India possesses the two wings, like what we call towards the east Bay of Bengal, towards the west what we call Arabian Sea. In these, except leaving Narmada and Tapati, remaining all rivers are going to be float and merge over there in this Bay of Bengal. So such type of existence which is taking part over here, this is all what it describes regarding the one what we call peninsular rivers. Like if you see Gujarat, where it is connected to the one what we call Sabarmati and Mahi, river Narmada, Tapati. So these all are adjacently connected to Gujarat, Maharashtra and few region of Madhya Pradesh. And not only that, here there in these all like the tributaries which are related to the Ganga, like in previous peninsular rivers what we have seen, the Himalayan rivers what we have seen like Indus, Ganga, Brahmaputra. So there in this peninsular river, these are the tributaries which are connecting or originating which are related to Ganga river, like the Chambal, Sindh, Betwa, Ken and Son. All these are originating and these all are related to the Himalayan river, as previously what we have discussed. These peninsular rivers are connecting to the Himalayan river, particularly related to Ganga, and these are the tributaries like the Chambal, Sindh, Betwa, Ken, Son. These all are the things which are originating. So almost all when these are going to be flowed, maximum they are going to be merged in one what we call Bay of Bengal. And here among all the peninsular rivers, the largest peninsular river is river Godavari, where it is taking birth in Triambak near Nasik in Maharashtra. And that will be floating or merge over there in one what we call Bay of Bengal. So these are the two wings in which what they are going to be flowed. And after that, river Krishna and Tungabhadra. Krishna, the river is also originating in Maharashtra, Tungabhadra in Karnataka. So that was the impact what we are going to find. And here the river Damodar, which is there located in West Bengal, nothing but Kolkata. And Mahanadi, which is there in Odisha, and this is there in West Bengal. So these are the rivers which they are going to be originate. Not only that, Kaveri Delta, which is in Tamil Nadu or Chennai. So all these are the states in which they are going to be originate and they are going to be float or merge over there in Bay of Bengal. And a few rivulets which are there which are connecting to the one what we call Arabian Sea. So that all are the impact what it says regarding the one what we call peninsular rivers. This makes us clear between the Himalayan rivers and as well as peninsular rivers. Right, after Himalayan rivers, peninsular rivers, next we are turning to the next what we call how the water is going to be used, water usage. Water flowing out via surface flows and groundwater. These two are the variations what we are going to know and learn and understand very clearly. Surface and as well as ground. Suppose if you look in a village or city, town, wherever the well is going to be available, if you bend towards the root, what we can find is the surface area. The down, whatever the water which we can find in the surface area. So the level of water up to what extent which we can able to see, these all are only what we call the down, what we call this as surface. But surface down, what we call ground. Suppose if you take Earth is a planet, if you go and dig the Earth, what we call it as, it's only the one what we call groundbreaking. So why I am connecting that means, as here this is the difference what I want to make you clear regarding groundwater and as well as surface flow. Surface flow, as we can see, when water is going to be completely wet. If the water is going to be wet, then we can see the surface. And there and then when we dig the origin or recharging or replenishing, then what happens means we get a new origin. That is only how it is possible. When it is possible means when we break the ground. So that makes you the clear between surface flow and as well as groundwater flow. So in these, like if you look at some villages, like whenever the rains which we get, particularly the rainfall in which percolates means like observing the water into the soil, and that all travels to one what we call underground water. Like Wherever the water is going to be stagnated, after some time, if you see after rain, then water will be percolated. Percolated means like squeezing inside to the earth. So that all what it says here, how the water is used. And for that, we use the word what we call recharge and aquifer. So recharge in the sense, suppose if you take a mobile, when you have talk time, you can able to speak. But when your talk time has accomplished, then what you have to do is recharge. In the same manner, when the water is accomplished over there in this, you have to dig. So that recharging makes you what means originating of a new layer, that layer with which we get the water. That's all what it says about the recharge and aquifers. And in some circumstances, like underground water becomes like a part of flows of that eventually appears in streams and rivers. See, as if you look at some villages, if you see over there the underground water, all this stagnation of water which is going to be found appear like what we can see like ponds, streams, or like rivers, they are going to be reappear. So all these are only the water flowing out of via through surface flow and groundwater. So that two differences are differentiated and denoted, that what it explains regarding the one what we call water use. Coming to the next what we call water for agriculture. Here the word agriculture. Agriculture is derived from Greek word agri means soil, culture means cultivation, soil cultivation. So this is not an easy process. It has a lot of effort to make all the agricultural product. So here one important point to notice that without root there is no fruit. So to make that root to be built and to get fruitful result, we have to put effort. So how can we protect that? So like various process as we see that, like making of agricultural production, what we have to look after means how the crops have to be produced. Within one day or the next day we can't get the production. So for that the process like inserting the seeds and to take care of that with supplying of fertilizers, manure and urea, whatever the crop which gets easy to grow. And not only that, we see that whether the soil is having texture salt with which what it makes means easy to make the crop production. That all what it makes clearly, if all these are the things which are right to that crop, then only we get production. So that is what I make you very simple, root to fruit. So that all what it says. And here, like when we get excess of water leads to one what we call floods. So generally, like even in our daily life, as per our requirement only what we are going to be consumed. If it is more also problematic, if it is less also problematic. When you go to a doctor, when a doctor prescribes you 250 mg, instead of that if you are going to be put 500 mg, then what will be the next reaction? So here also, like as per the crops, what was the things which are required, like adding of fertilizers, urea and manure, that should be prescribed quantity should be applied, then only the crop production will be better and good. So this is very important to notice. And floods is nothing but excess of water. Excess of water is also problematic. If you eat more also problematic, if you eat less also problematic. As per the requirement how we are having in our digestive system, here also the plants which require the same requirement. So that is what we call floods. Droughts is nothing but lack of water. Floods is what? Excess of water. Droughts is nothing but lack of water. So these two differences which makes us clear how the root zone was there under agriculture. So these all are the process where the farmer will involve over there in cultivation. So farmer is the backbone of Indian economy. Agriculture is the backbone of Indian economy. So all this effort, what I mean to say, why I am specific the word farmer means he is the one who make all these process to make from root to fruit. So that are what it describes regarding the one what we call water for agriculture. Next, water used for domestic purpose and for animals. As you know that in our every walk of life, in our daily lives, what has become very essential. See, nowadays If you see any person, a person without mobile, no one we can't find. So this is the present trend what we are finding. Everyone is busy with their own mobiles. So here, early in the morning, if you wake up and till you go to the bed, what is very essential, compulsory and mandatory means water. So how this water is used especially for domestic purpose means, as you know that, cooking, washing, cleaning, drinking. So all these are only the one what we call as domestic purpose, like how we are making usage, how the water is used. Are we using more water? Are we using less water? As per our requirement we are using. So such type of questions may arise. So and even if you see some lakes or ponds, people carrying over there the animals, and there in that they are making as what? Washing of the animals and washing clothes, cleaning all the animals and all the things which all together they are making as a great pollutants. So that what it makes what environment is going to get damaged. So my point is here, not only usage of domestic purpose, even animals they are taking and washing over there, and the clothes to be also washed off, and cleaning the animals, making of all such type of pollutants, the water which is going to be spoiled. So all these things which makes what means water to be damaged. So these all are not the right way as how we can make safeguard and how we can make protect. That all what it says regarding the one how the water can be used for domestic purpose and for animals. So up to now what we have concluded here means surface flow and groundwater. Next what we have known means water used for agriculture. After that we understood about domestic purpose and for animals, how the water is used. And in this one more, what is that called? Water for industrial use. As at the present scenario, we are there in industrial revolution. Instead of manpower, machine power came into existence. In this, how we are making the usage of water, either for domestic or agricultural purpose. Domestic, as I said just now before, cleaning, washing, cooking, drinking. So all these are only the one what we call domestic. And agriculture, as I said for you, root to fruit, how the farmer is involved over there with all type of activities related, like sowing seed to making of production, like threshing, packaging, processing of all, these all are making good yield. So that all leads to the one what we call agriculture. So here the point is that how far the water is going to be recycled, whether this water is going to be recycled or the water is going to be dried. So these all are the things how we are going to be known or noticed. So like recycling nowadays, it's very important. Like what they are saying is, as we are in globalization, the environment is going to get damaged. So due to that, water should be recycled. So in that connectivity, how far we are making the better usage of water in recycling. And here we find various types of pollution. Sound pollution, soil pollution, air pollution, water pollution. All these are only the types of pollution. How can we control? How can we make better environment? And how we are misusing the water and recycling of that. So what is the main important thing here we are discussing about all this means we have to use water in a righteous manner, not to waste the water. So these all are not only applicable for us at present scenario, but we have to think about the future generation. So these such type of pollution should be controllable. That is the main task that what we have to be involved over there in this. And here inlet and outlet pipe, to make you clear, every day in our residence, if you see the various people have the various like tanks or syntax, whatever you call, early in the morning around 8:30 or 7:30 or 6:30, whatever the time you can, when you are going to be fill syntax or tank, and if you see the same water in the evening, will you notice the same? No. Why? Because the water will be supplied for what? Cooking, washing, bathing, drinking, cleaning, various domestic purpose we utilize that. So meanwhile, what we are understanding here means the water which is filled, slowly it comes down. Slowly it comes down. So that what it says here, inlet and outlet pipe. And industrial pollution, as we know that, where it exerts various types of gases and making to be spoiled the environment. So due to that, the government, what they have taken decision means all the industries should be only at the outskirts of the city. That means inlet, outlet, whatever they are exerting the waste gases, that should not be damaged for the environmentally, the people who live or exist over there in that region. That was the main concept. And here irrigation is nothing but artificial supply of water. So irrigation source are three: wells, canals, tanks. And wells are of two types: open wells and as well as tube wells. Open wells, like what we called Indian culture previously, like putting a bucket and shelly to drag the water. But right now, nowadays, we are getting only the one what we call bore wells. That was the latest system to uplift the water very easy and making very convenient to the people. So that is what we call wells. Canals, inundation, these are the types of canals, tanks. So all these are only what we call irrigation source. In absence of rainfall, irrigation helps us to make the usage. So that is what these are. As I said, when the water is going to be accomplished, when we discuss about surface flow and ground water, when the water is accomplished in this surface flow, when water is completely dry, then what we will do next process means recharging, nothing but digging the earth, nothing but ground breaking. Then we can find that ground level. So with which water we get means a new origin of water. So all these are only the things how we are following and replenishing of one to make better usage of water. So such type of usage of water makes us what means to understand such type of impact and importance to make better usage. In this manner, this water should be made for future generation. The water should be made for future generation, and here we find two important years: good year and bad year. Good year makes what means if the water is sufficient for the whole year, then farmer feel and says that it is a good year. Like compared to the years 2021, 2022, what is the differences? Like 21 is good, upcoming year how it will be we can't expect. So all these are the things what we find. And two more important things here, what is that means? Droughts and as well as floods. Lack of water is called droughts, excess of water is called floods. So both these are not so suitable. It should be only limited as per the requirement of one to make the sustainable development for future generation, and water should be used, water should not waste. And you have to save the water, that water will save you. So that was the end. Thank you.